y'all, it's Kameron with a K, coming to you guys with a new video. So welcome to part 2 of my Becoming a Lawyer Influencer series. I'm actually not sure this time what I'm going to label this series, but we're gonna go with that for now. Definitely make sure you guys check out part 1. I will leave it in the cards as well as the description box below so you guys can check that out. But let's go ahead and get into the law school tea or the legal tea. For those of you that know, if you know, you know. I have a playlist called the Legal Tea series, and it's all about my law school journey. I vlogged, I showed the good, the bad, the ugly, the better, the best, the wins, the losses, all the things in law school. I was looking for that when I started law school, so I was searching different articles and reading everything that I could find about being a law student and how it works and how to succeed and case briefs and all the stuff. Like, I tried to look up everything and I couldn't see many, if any, black females talking about their law school experience. I'm like, where are the black lawyers, the black female lawyers? Where are the black female law students? Now there are a ton of them. Sorry, I'm messing with my shirt, y'all. It was falling down. Now there are a ton of black law students or law students in general that I love, like sharing their story, sharing their journey, because for me, when you see it and you see yourself in someone, i.e. we both black, okay, let's keep it 1,000, it gives you a different level of motivation. It really does. It's nice to see someone that looks like you doing what you want to do. Like, that's just what it is. And just so y'all know, only 5% of lawyers in the United States of America licensed are black. 5%. I don't know, but that math not mathing. Like, only 5%. We need to do better, okay? I think there's a lot of reasons why. Financial issues, I think that would be the number one. Like, for me, that was probably the hardest thing about it. It was like, I ain't got no money. Like, how I'm gonna pay for law school, and I can barely pay. Stop playing with me. Don't play with me. I got undergrad loans and but God has made a way, so thankfully. But still, I mean, I definitely think that's a barrier. And also just, it takes so long to get to law school. It's the application, to pay for that, to pay for the LSAT, to pay for this, the course. Like, it's so much money just to apply. It's like, just to get accepted. I don't know. Anyway, quick tangent. That's not what I want to start this video on, but hey, we're rolling with it. Like I said, this is just off the dome. It's a casual conversation. I did have this beautiful space rented because I was like, when I thought about doing this is the first place I thought of. So shout out to aesthetic. I will leave all the information in the description box below of location and just any other details. I don't think I said that in the other video, but it's there. Also, I didn't say my age. I don't know if that matters, but I was born September 7th, 1993, Virgo Nation, period. I'm 28 right now as I'm recording this, and so you guys can get context when I'm talking about law school and stuff. Okay, so orientation story. Wow, it was in that moment. I've seen and felt imposter syndrome before. I've felt like I just don't know what it's supposed to be for me. But man, sitting in that orientation room, hearing other students say, well, my mom's a judge, or my dad's the practicing attorney, or like all these things. And I'm like, we were at the dinner table trying to figure out how we're gonna survive. Like, you know, like, we weren't having conversations about politics or about like the law and like the justice system, like not in a sense of an educational, informative type manner, if that makes sense. So I was intimidated, y'all. I mean, I was like, man, I can't do this. And it wasn't just like other races, it was black students too. So I'm like, wow, I'm really out here struggling, bro. Like, send me back to Flint. It was all in my head though, right? Because technically we're all on the same playing field, and that's something that I preach to law students all the time. Like, when you start law school, that first day, everyone's on the same playing field. Ain't no grades, ain't no this, ain't no that. Their mommy, daddy, that's cute and fine and dandy, and yes, that can open doors, and I'm not throwing shade, but like, you're on the same playing field. Get in the game. Like, we are all at the start mark on that track field. Clearly, I never did sports, but we are all, I cheered, that's a sport. But anyway, I got distracted. Y'all see what I was saying. We are all at the start mark, and the race hasn't begun yet. It's orientation. But I was feeling the heat. I was like, man, I need to get a book. Like, what? And then a lot of orientations have like required assignments. Already do. Like, girl, good morning, I just met you. Who are you? So it was intimidating. And I remember texting my group of friends at the time. We're no longer friends. And I may touch on that, but long story short, people come in your life for seasons, and I needed them for the season that they were in, but we just didn't mesh. We grew apart. That's what it was. We grew apart. I had to prioritize law school, and everyone can't understand that. And that's something I want to tell somebody right now, and I'm looking right in the camera because there's going to be moments throughout your career, no matter what path you take, whether it's law, whether it's anything else, any other field. I don't even name them because it's 1,000, a million. They're all just as good as any of them. There's going to be people that won't understand it. That's just what it is. And that has been the story of my life, especially now as a lawyer influencer. Lawyers look at me like, have you lost your marbles? But I want you to know that everybody doesn't need to be there, okay? Everybody doesn't need to be there, and they probably shouldn't, because they're probably holding you back. Like, it's giving dead weight, get off my back. But yeah, so at the time I had a group of friends, and I put in our group message, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know the group message be popping. But I put in there and I was like, y'all, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I was telling them, like, I mean, so-and-so talking about their daddy this, so-and-so talking about their grandma this, so-and-so this, and I was sitting there like, I don't know. You'd have to feel me to feel what I'm trying to say. Like, it was just like, man, I'm already behind. I felt like I was already behind. And in a sense, in the Black community, we are behind, you know, from other races. And that's just what it is. So I was just feeling the heat. But on the outside, of course, keep your confidence shining. And I just met people and I networked, because I'm like, okay, how can I network not using people, but like use my resources that I do have, whether it's my social media presence and knowledge about that, and or like just anything, street smart. But how can I build healthy, organic networking opportunities for myself if I don't have the same connections as these other people? That's what I did. So I'm all about networking. I just stayed myself, and I promised myself, like, during that time, I was like, I don't want to lose who I am for this, because it can happen. I will say, did I elevate mentally, physically, emotionally, especially during that first semester? Absolutely. And you will do it. Law school wipes everything clean as far as like what you knew about writing and English, like in English classes, and like all those things to rebuild you to write as a lawyer, to analytically think like a lawyer, to process things like a lawyer, to present yourself in a manner of a credible resource in law. Like, it's something that happens for sure. But I didn't want to lose myself, which is why I love that I had YouTube. I was still doing the Affordable Week series. I started talking about law school. I did Q&As about law school. I vlogged. Like, I kept that part of me. Then I truly believe that's something you have to do with law school. They'll tell you, you have to just do law school, focus on law school, like everything else is sacrifice. But like, honestly, yes and no, right? Yes and no. Yes, you have to make sacrifices. Yes, I couldn't go out as much. Yes, da-da-da. But like, I'm still gonna go to Sunday brunch. Brunch me, please. You know, I'm still going to call my mom and talk to her for hours every day like I do. Like, I'm still going to mingle, mix, meet people. And I'm glad I was open, even though I wasn't really trying to date, but like my boyfriend, that's how I met him in law school. He was a year ahead of me, and then we ended up being on the same trial team. And it was like, clearly you're my business. Like, you trying to be my business. So that was great. That was a huge part now, like fast forwarding why I decided to stay in Alabama. That's what it is. I told him, I said, if I find a job elsewhere, I'm going. But of course, I got the job offer in Alabama. So those of you that don't know, I'm gonna do the quick, fast, and a hurry story about how law school works. So it's 3 years. You can do some 4-year programs like part-time, but I did full-time, 3 years. That first year you cannot work. They basically make your schedule where it's similar to a 9 to 5. I couldn't treat it like a 9 to 5. I had to study, sis. Like, I can't read something, remember it. I gotta study. And that, I will say, was like the first time in my life where I was like, oh no, you never knew how to study, sis. You don't know how to study? You need to study, girl, what? Study. So I really had to just buckle down and get my life together and study, and it was super hard. I met amazing people. Tyra, we had every class together. So shout out to Tyra. Ty, that's my girl. I mean, we had every class together, and I needed that. It was like, we would make rap jokes about stuff, like try to do beats on stuff to try to memorize like different things. Ty and Stacy made like a little study group. I mean, it was just so, like I said, those moments that weren't necessarily like specifically academic related, like kept me going in law school. Like, find your tribe, find your group, balsa, trial team. Like, I needed that. So thank you so much to my law school friends. Like, I really appreciate y'all. Colleagues, people that don't necessarily like, y'all ain't really friends, but like, we be cool, like we kick it or whatever. It was great, but I really didn't venture out to see too much of Birmingham. Like, that's why if you follow me, you watch my vlogs, like I'm out like going to like brunch and lunch and dinner and all these things, because I wasn't doing that in law school. I was doing a little bit here and there, but I was mostly going to networking events and editing YouTube videos. But YouTube was growing. Instagram was growing. I was starting to find my voice, I felt like. It was great. I loved it. So fast forward after the first year, which was extremely difficult mentally, physically, emotionally. But that summer I worked at the district attorney's office in Bessemer. Loved it. Shout out to Lillian Washington. She was the first black female DA, period, in Alabama. Man, I would just watch her and be of awe, like, cause she was still real, like it was a real person. And then I would be like behind the scenes in like the judges' chambers, and I was like, oh my God, it's like it took that day for it to hit me like, oh my God, it's just a profession, it's a career, like it's not these whole people's lives. Like it sounds really stupid, but like as a law student, it's like, yes, I met lawyers in undergrad, yes, but like it was like I'm sitting with the judge and we're kikiing. Like it was, for me, it was a big deal. It was a big deal, and I loved it. I loved the criminal aspect. I thought that's what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm gonna go to law school, be a DA, district attorney, be in the courtroom, like all that, and I loved it. And I think in another life, that's what I would be doing. So clerking there was amazing. I got such good experience. I helped with jury selection. I want to say, I can't remember now, I need to write this stuff down, but I want to say 4, it's on my resume, 4 full criminal trials, and it was just real life, not Law and Order SVU. It was like, that's a whole criminal, like, that's a whole defendant, like, okay. These are whole juries. Like, it was so interesting to me, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. I didn't get paid that summer. So what I did is I took 2 online classes, and I took an internet privacy law class, and it was like, oh my God, my professor was at the beach teaching the class online. I'm like, if I ever did that, that's who I would be. Like, thank you, sir. I learned a lot. I can't remember the other class. I think I took professional responsibilities, which was required for the MPRE, but yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. So I took those classes so I can get student loans during that summer so I can feed myself. I also was helping my mom during this time. And yeah, it was great. It was great. Second year was super busy. That's when I made trial team. So at our school, Cumberland, you can't join any type of like team like that your first year. So second year, I'm so glad I tried out. Made trial team. Is lit. That was a winning year. I won my first trial. It was just such a good, like, 2L year was super busy, but it was so good. I wasn't as consistent on YouTube even during this whole time. Like I feel like I've gone through periods of consistency, but like lately, 3 times a week, sis, sometimes 2, I've been super consistent. So yeah, just keep going even when you don't see the numbers. And it's okay if you're not consistent, you go through periods. Life still happens. I'm a whole person, not just a creator on YouTube behind a screen. Like, I'm a whole person. I got whole life stuff going on. But yeah, so it was great. 2 year was super busy, but it was great. I also did a directed research. Was that second year or third year? I did a directed research for employment law and criminal law. I want to say that must have been third year. So let's go to second. After second year, you get another summer. So essentially, you get 2 summers to figure out what the heck you want to do with your life. As far as majors, there's no majors. As far as like what area of law, you find that out through your core classes that they like obligate you to take, but also you can take electives and then networking events and doing externships during the school year, internships during the school year, but you can't do it your first year. But summers, you also learn a lot. So I met an attorney, shout out to Sydney. I met an attorney at the firm that I previously worked at, and he was like, hey, you want to work at the firm? And I was like, I never heard of it. What's employment law? What is that? Like, what do y'all do? Went to the firm. It's gorgeous. I was like, oh, it's giving me what I deserve. So yeah, they gave me an offer, no interview, just off of knowing me from we met at a volunteer event at a high school. And he was just like, I just love your personality. I think you'd be great. I can tell your work ethic is on point and all those things. Anyway, it was great. Got the offer. I end up, no. Oh my God, it's all coming back to me. I got that job offer my first year. So that first summer when I clerked at the DA's office, I was supposed to do half DA, half them. But the DA at the time was only allowing me to do the whole summer. So I said no to them, put them on the back burner, but I was like, I would love to work with y'all next summer. Thankfully, they waited. So the second summer, I worked half of the summer at my previous place of employment at an employment litigation firm and plaintiff's law. And then I also did the other DA's office, so the one in Birmingham. So Bessemer was first summer, second summer was employment litigation, plaintiff's work, and DA, Jefferson County, Birmingham. Both was great, both great experiences. Like, I had a great time. I loved the firm. I really liked it, like, a lot. Like, I love the people, I love the firm, and I was like, I could see myself working here. So they ended up offering me to work during the school year, and I was like, bet we in there. I did so many projects. Do not go overboard like me. I want to say I did like 20 or 30 projects in a half of a summer, so 6 weeks. I was trying to prove to them, like, I can do this, and also me getting the experience, because most people get an experience at the same firm for 2 summers, but I only had that 1 summer left. So, because technically the 3rd summer after you graduate is bar prep, which is what it was. So I love them. I worked with them during the school year. They gave me a job offer that December, so December 2018. I graduated in 2019. December 2018, they gave me the job offer. I was like, what a Christmas gift. Your girl was not top of the class and like already has a job offer. I should have negotiated the price. I should have negotiated the salary. I should have negotiated the salary. Yeah, I don't know if they would have budged, but I should have just tried at that point. That's something that I've learned. But love them, it was great. So I didn't work with them too much that second semester because I really wanted to just like kind of de-stress and prepare for bar prep. Glad I did that. Bar prep, amazing. Thank you, Jesus Christ. I passed the bar. I don't know why I said bar prep amazing. Like bar prep was traumatizing. It was the hardest, honest to this day. Bar prep is the #1 hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's mentally exhausting, physically draining, and emotionally tainting. I don't know, but it was a lot. And I think part of it is you want to pass so bad. Like you want to pass. So that's what made it so difficult. Yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. I struggled during bar prep, but I also excelled because I was like super disciplined. I worked out. I was in the best shape of my life. I worked out like every day. Worked out every day. It was great. I had an amazing supportive system around me. And my boyfriend, he just took the exam the year before and passed, so I had his support. And it was just like my mom, my family, my cousins, like my friends. Like I had such great support, and also like my colleagues and like my friends that were in my actual class studying too. It was just great. I feel like overall it was a good experience. Anyway, great. Took the bar exam. They actually told us the day before. I'll just go ahead and just insert that video so you guys can see that. I was supposed to capture my reaction of opening my bar results on camera because, you know, but I was at work and I wasn't planning. I was supposed to be tomorrow. I can't even talk. It was supposed to be tomorrow, and I just clicked the email, not even reading the caption, like me reading the subject line that said results, but I was just clicked it and it said, "We are pleased to inform you that you passed the academic portion of the Alabama bar." But God, it was God. God took that exam. God gave me this. I'm so blessed and so thankful. Y'all, I'm sitting in the parking lot of my job. I was at work when I opened it. And I was like, oh my God, I think I just passed the bar. Like, and they're like, you can leave. And now I'm just like, trying not to, I was just like shaking. Wow, God. Like, I'm taken aback. That's so crazy. Oh, Lord Jesus, thank you. We did it. So yeah, I passed the bar exam. I started working at a firm, and I was a whole practicing attorney. Like, what? Who is she? I was a whole practicing attorney. And I loved it, and I was giving it 1,000%, but I also was giving YouTube and social media 1,000%, and I was starting to make a lot of money online. And I told myself, I was like, I'll give it a few years, like 3 or 5 years practicing, maybe make partner in 7 years, and then I'll quit and like kind of see what's going on. By then maybe I'll have kids and be married and all these things. And like 6 months in, I was like, 6 months in, COVID happened basically, so there's that. Less than 6 months, 4 months maybe. But anyway, it was tough. COVID was tough for everybody, y'all. Like, Black Lives Matter. I was struggling. Being a new lawyer and like not having that in-person learning experience was tough. And maybe I'll talk about that in part 3 because I know this is getting long, but like, it was really hard for me. It was really hard for me, and I felt like I had nowhere to go. I was the only Black female lawyer there, associate there, partner. There's no other Black female lawyers there, so I can say lawyer in general, but I was an associate attorney. There were other Black females, like staff and paralegal and things, but like I felt a little isolated. Like I didn't have anywhere to go to express what I was going through a little bit. Like, of course, there's some people, I suggest if you're working at a firm, have a mentor inside the firm and outside the firm. But yeah, it was tough. I was struggling. I still was doing work. I never had a complaint about my work as far as like, oh, you about to get fired because your work ain't good. Like, clearly I was struggling with work because I was a new lawyer, but aside from that, like, never had a problem with my boss. So that was great. Practicing was only, it's hard in general, but like it was hard for me because I also was like running a full-time business and making a lot of money. So I started to match my income, and I was like, oh, like my months, I was matching the same amount that I was getting in a check from my job and my social media stuff. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, Jack. Like, wait a minute, wait 1 minute. So then it hit me like, could I really do this thing full time? And I'll say like working from home, I kind of got a vibe a little bit. Like I was still doing work for work, but like it was a little bit slower because think about it, I work in employment law, like people weren't at work. What employment problems are you having? You're at the house. And I mean, there's other stuff we did and stuff like that, but I was like, I got a little glimpse into what that looked like. And I prayed hard, y'all. And I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, but I was in my office. There was an incident that happened with my boss. And he was just basically like, we heard you're doing this other stuff outside of this. Mind you, I had told him beforehand. I told him in law school when I was a clerk what I was doing. All my stuff is public. I told them when I accepted the job offer, talked with another partner at the firm about it, and everybody was fine with it. I think they didn't know the extent of what I was doing as far as like making money, but I felt like, why did that matter? Because I'm a lawyer no matter where I work. I'm a lawyer because I have a JD and I passed the bar. Like, I'm an attorney, period. It's not attached to a job. But anyway, that's a tangent for another time, maybe in the future. It's still kind of soon. I ain't got time to be dealing with that. But yeah, so things were happening at work, and then I just prayed about it, and I was like, I don't need this job. Like, I realized, like, let me pause here and back up. I also started to have friends that asked me about their contracts. So I would always review my own contracts, and I would just do some research on it just so I was well aware of what I was signing. But I started doing them with friends and other people, and I was like, this is giving me an option. So at the firm, I was gonna try to bring that option in the firm, but it just wasn't well received, especially after some commentary. Like, some people just don't get social media, influencer marketing, social media law, digital marketing. They don't get it. That's fine. Stay where y'all at. Let me get it for you so I can get the check. So I left. So I quit. And I wasn't sure when I was gonna quit. I was like, I'm gonna wait till the end of the year. I'm gonna wait till next year. But what I did instead, I wrote on a sticky note, several sticky notes. I'm in my office, I'm crying, going through it, y'all. Very dramatic. I might even have video clips. And I'm writing like dates of when I should quit. And I shake it up, throw it up in the air. Literally so dramatic. Like, it's so dramatic. I hope I have video footage. If I don't, just trust me, it was very dramatic, and I'm crying. My door's closed and everything. I'm on office, super cute. And I pick up a date, and it was like that Friday, like of that week. It was like Monday, and it was like that Friday. And I was like, there's no way. I rewrote the same post-it notes, like the same dates, different post-it notes, crumbled them up because I didn't want to like memorize the way I crumbled them, because like, just in case. Threw them around the room, and it said the same date. I said, okay, God, I'm gonna do this one more time because I'm hard-headed. He was like, sis, I said what needed to be said. So I did it again, and when I tell y'all it was the same date, it was that Friday. I swear. And I had already, so I ignored that, and I said the next Friday because I'm hard-headed. So I like drafted a resignation letter for the following Friday. So that would have been September 18th, I think. And I was like, okay, I'll do it September 18th. I drafted it, everything. That Thursday, no, the Friday that I originally pulled that God was like, girl, if you don't pick this Friday, it was like September 11th. I was in my office and I was like, I can't go any longer. Like, I have to resign today. And I gave 2 weeks. I actually gave like 4 weeks notice, just in case. I don't know. But I'm super nice. Because I loved it. I really enjoyed the firm. I love the work. It just was like, it just didn't feel enough. It didn't feel enough. I don't know. I just knew I could do better. So yeah, I redrafted the resignation. I went to one of my close coworkers, and both of them, and I was like, can you print this? Because I didn't want to print it at the main printer. I was like, can you print this for me? She was like, Cameron. And honestly, I'm so thankful that we had that moment, because I needed that extra courage and encouragement. Like, you can do this, it's okay. Like, people leave jobs all the time. Because in my head, I felt like a failure. I felt like that same little girl that was in orientation that didn't feel enough. I felt that same feeling again, even though I knew I was making the right decision. Took it to my boss. He was like, girl, no, think about this over the weekend. No, you're a great attorney. Like, we ain't doing this. The next Monday, he was like, so you still would have quit? I was like, yes! And they were amazing. Like, the exit was amazing. I'm so thankful still for that experience. It was great. So technically, my last day was September 25th. So that'll be, I think, if I plan this right, it'll be the last day of this part series. But yeah, that was my practicing experience. I'm gonna go into more details in the next video, but yeah, it was just a whirlwind of emotions with law school and then practicing, and I really just wasn't sure really what I wanted to do. Like, I had an exit plan. I had saved a lot of money, save before you quit. I saved so much, but I still felt like I wasn't ready. And my original idea is not what I kept doing. I tried a lot of stuff, which I'll talk about in the next part 3. I just tried stuff, y'all. I was just trying all types of stuff. I don't know if it was working, kind of. I mean, at the end of the day, would I remind myself now when I had those moments of, should I have stayed? Or I had other law firm offers and the DA offered me, and like, I could have taken those job offers after I quit. And I was like, I gotta give myself at least 1 year to just bet on myself. Like, go 100% on myself. This is my first time going 100% on social media. Like, this is my first time. And I'm so thankful that I did. And now I have so much clarity. So year 2, like, is growth year. Like, year 2 is like, it's up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up. But seriously, like, it was a crazy ride. Just wait till I tell y'all all the stuff in the next video, because I would have never thought, but like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. So I know all creators say that, but that's real. Like, thank you to the brands that I work with, the companies that I work with, local businesses and companies that I work with. Thank y'all so much. Like, thank you. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to thumbs it up if you did. Leave me some comments down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share this video with your family and friends and colleagues. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Love you guys. Later. I just want y'all to know it's just me in this room talking. Oh, child. Only child syndrome. That's what I call it. Okay. Well, y'all are here too, but I'm sorry. Let's just do the video.